Welcome to Legion Builds, where I guide you on how to bring your favorite fictional characters into Dungeons & Dragons. This video and all my content is made possible by my Patreon supporters, and it's dedicated to everyone who subscribes to my channel. You're all the reasons why this keeps going. Thank you. Join the Legion today at patreon.com/63rdlegion for free and help decide next week's new character. Joining my paid tiers allows you early access to my content, a shout out in my videos, and home-brewed 5e items for your games. It's Grim Darktober, and it's time for our first 40k build of the month and our third member of the Officio Assassinorum, the Callidus. The Callidus are the ultimate infiltrators. Using a drug called polymorphine, the Callidus can reshape their physical forms to perfectly match those they are mimicking. And it's not just their outsides that are reshaped. The Callidus will even go through surgeries to add extra organs or cybernetic implants if these things are required to pass themselves off as other people. While en route to their missions, the Callidus will spend days learning everything they can about the intended targets and possible disguises. These include speech patterns, history, and physical movements, allowing them to become perfect doubles of anyone. In combat, the Callidus' unique physical abilities allow them to move in ways that the word graceful can barely explain. In fact, that is actually the hardest part of a Callidus' mission, staying in character during fighting due to their natural flexibility and speed. This movement is made even deadlier when the Callidus unsheaths their prized weapon, the Phase Sword, a blade of Xeno origin that phases out of reality and allows it to simply bypass armor. Though even at a short distance, they are dangerous as well, utilizing poison daggers and a neural shredder, a pistol that unleashes psionic energy that overloads its target's nervous system and melts their brains. For today's build, we'll be using the Player's Handbook and Xanathar's Guide to Everything. We're using standard point array, and we are multi-classing, so watch those minimums should you use another system. Make Charisma 15, Dex 14, Con 13, Wisdom 12, Strength 10, and we're going to dump Intelligence with an 8. I don't want to, but we must dump something. The Callidus are humans. Resourceful allows you to give yourself inspiration when you finish a long rest. Skillful gives you a free skill of your choice, take Investigation. Versatile gives you a free origin feat. For this origin feat, Alert adds your proficiency bonus to your initiative rolls, and you can swap initiative with a willing ally as long as both of you are not incapacitated. To finish out your lineage, you know the language Common and 2 others of your choice. For background, place +2 into Dex and +1 into Charisma. For your origin feat, Savage Attacker allows you to roll a weapon's damage dice twice when you attack and choose which damage you use. For skills, take Deception and Persuasion. For bonus proficiencies, take Forgery Kit and one other tool or language proficiency of your choice. I would go with languages so you can pass yourself off very easily as other creatures. Level 1 rogues start things off with 4 skills. Take Acrobatics, Athletics, Stealth, and Performance. You're proficient in all weapons that have the Light or Finesse properties, Light Armor, Thieves' Tools, and the saving throws Dex and Intelligence. Expertise doubles your proficiency bonus to 2 skills you have. Place this into Investigation and Deception. Sneak Attack adds bonus damage to your attacks that are made with a ranged or finesse weapon while you have advantage on the attack or the target is within 5 feet of one of your allies. This starts off at a d6 but will grow over time. You deal sneak attack damage once per turn. Thieves' Cant gives you the language Thieves' Cant and one other of your choice. Weapon Mastery allows you to use a weapon's mastery property if you are proficient with that weapon. You know 2 at any given time but can switch them out after a long rest. Your 2 main weapons you will have are daggers and short swords. Short swords gives you the Vex property, which allows you to have advantage on your next attack after hitting a creature. Daggers gives you the Nick property, which allows you to attack with your daggers for free when you attack with a light weapon, like your short sword. Level 1 Warlocks begin with Eldritch Invocations. These are special gifts from your patron, or for you, your temple, that grant you new abilities or improve ones you already have. For your first invocation, Pact of the Blade gives you a Phase Sword. You can now magically summon a packed weapon to you with a bonus action, and it can be any weapon and you will be proficient with it. This packed weapon can use your Charisma for attack and damage, is a spellcasting focus for your Warlock spells, and when you create it, you choose its damage type from Radiant, Necrotic, or Psychic. For a blade that phases through anything when it cuts, I'd take Necrotic. Pact Magic makes you a fake spellcaster. You have limited spell slots, like 1 right now, but will have these spell slots at particular levels, and you can get them back at the end of a short or long rest. Starting off, you know 2 cantrips and 2 first level spells. For your spells, Mind Sliver fires your Neural Shredder at a target within 60 feet and forces an intelligence save. If they fail, they take 1d6 psychic damage and must subtract 1d4 from their next saving throw before the end of your next turn. Poison Spray throws a poison dart at a creature within 30 feet and deals 1d12 poison damage on a hit. Hex curses a creature within 90 feet with a bonus action for 1 hour while you maintain the spell. While the spell is active, you will deal an extra 1d6 necrotic damage when you hit, and when you cast this spell, you choose one skill. They now have disadvantage on that skill while the spell is active. If the target dies before the spell ends, you can use your bonus action to move the curse to another creature within 90 feet. Comprehend Language allows you to understand any language for 1 hour. This includes written, but you will read slower. Level 2 Warlocks gain Magical Cunning. This allows you to regain use spell slots after 1 minute that equal half your Warlock level. You can do this once per long rest. You also receive more invocations. For your invocations, Mask of Many Faces gives you your first polymorphine dose. This allows you to cast Disguise Self without a spell slot. For 1 hour, you can appear as someone else as long as they follow the same basic body plan, meaning 2 arms and such. This is just an illusion and not actually a shape-shifting. We'll get that later, but this is still good because it can disguise your clothing as well. Agonizing Blast adds your charisma modifier to a Warlock cantrip that deals damage. Use this with your Mind Sliver. For your new spell, take what you want. Level 3 Warlocks now have access to their subclass. Hexblade from Xanathar's is going to make you even more deadlier. Hex Warrior gives you proficiency in all weapons, shields, and medium armor, as well as something else that your Pact of the Blade covers as well, but now it's not just for your Pact of the Blade. What is this? You can now bond with a weapon, and after a long rest, you can now use your charisma modifier for that weapon's attack and damage. Think of this as a way of making sure that you will always act like a particular warrior. Hexblade's Curse allows you to curse a creature with a bonus action. For the next minute, when you deal damage to the cursed creature, you will deal bonus damage equal to your proficiency bonus, you will crit on 19 or 20, and when the cursed creature dies, you will regain HP equal to your Warlock level plus charisma modifier. You can do this once per short or long rest. You also get Hexblade spells, but this is up in the air right now. In 5e, the spells were optional to take, but in 5.5e, packed spells are now always there. Talk to your DM if you would receive these. I personally say yes, as it's not game breaking and will improve the build. Your spell slots are also upgraded to 2nd level. For your new spell, Mind Spike supercharges your Neural Shredder. Firing at a target within 120 feet, you force a wisdom save, dealing 3d8 psychic damage on a failure. For the next hour while you maintain this spell, you will also know their location if they failed the save. Level 4 Warlocks earn our first ability score improvement, Bump Up Charisma. For your new spell, Spider Climb gives you a climbing speed for 1 hour while you maintain this spell, and you can now climb any surface, like upside down. For your final cantrip, have fun choosing. You've reached character level 5, bring your proficiency bonus to +3. Mind Sliver and Poison Spray now deal 2 damage dice each. Level 5 Warlocks get 2 more invocations, and it's time for true polymorphine and melee combat. For these invocations, Thirsting Blade allows you to attack twice with a single action with your packed weapon. Master of Myriad Forms lets you cast Alter Self without a spell slot. Alter Self allows you to control your form for 1 hour while you maintain this spell. When you cast this spell, you decide the effect. You can grow natural weapons from your body, you can grow gills and now have a swimming speed and can breathe underwater, or change your shape. When you shapeshift, you can appear as any creature that has the same basic body plan. This is not an illusion, and while the spell is active, you can use your action to change shape into someone else. Now, if you want, drop Mask of Many Faces for something else, but remember, Disguise Self can also change your clothes, and Alter Self can't. So I would keep it. Your spell slots are also upgraded to 3rd level. For your final Warlock spell, Tongues allows you to understand any language and be understood for 1 hour. Level 2 Rogues gain Cunning Action. Dash, Disengage, and Hide are now bonus actions to you. Level 3 rogues now have access to their subclass. Assassin from the player's handbook works perfectly for you. Assassin's Tools gives you proficiency in Disguise Kit and Poisoner's Kit. Assassinate gives you advantage on initiative rolls, and during the first round of combat you have advantage on anyone who hasn't taken their turn yet. If your sneak attack hits during that round, you add bonus damage equal to your rogue level. Steady Aim lets you give yourself advantage on your next attack that turn by using your bonus action, but only if you haven't moved that round. If you do so, your speed becomes 0 until the end of that turn. Finally, your sneak attack is upgraded to 2d6 extra damage. Level 4 rogues earn another ability score improvement to cap off charisma. You've reached character level 9, bring your proficiency bonus up to +4. Level 5 rogues receive Uncanny Dodge. Now when you take damage from something you can see, you can use your reaction to halve the damage. Cutting Strike adds effects to your sneak attack damage by sacrificing 1 damage dice from your sneak attack. The DC for these effects will be based on your dex, unlike your spells, but dex will be great at the end of this build. For these effects, Poison forces a con save, and if they fail, they are poisoned for 1 minute. A poison creature has disadvantage on all attack rolls and skill checks. At the end of each of their turns, they may attempt to retake the save to end the effect. To use this, you must have a Poisoner's Kit on you. Trip lets you force a dex save on a creature of a size category large or smaller, and if they fail, they fall prone. A prone creature has disadvantage on attack rolls they make, and all melee attacks against them are at advantage. They must use half their movement to stand up. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 3d6 extra damage. Level 6 rogues gain 2 more expertise. Place this into performance and acrobatics. Your character level 11 Mind Sliver and Poison Spray now deal 3 damage dice each. Level 7 rogues get my favorite feature, Reliable Talent. Now when you roll for a skill check with a skill you're proficient with, the roll can never be lower than 10. This means 1 through 9 count as 10 on the dice. Evasion improves your dex saves. If you pass a dex save, you take no damage and half on a failure. Your sneak attack damage is now upgraded again to 4d6 extra damage. Level 8 rogues earn another ability score improvement. Start bumping up dex for more AC and stealth. You've hit character level 13, bring your proficiency bonus to +5. Level 9 Assassin rogues receive Infiltration Expertise. You can now mimic anyone's speech and handwriting if you've spent 1 hour studying them. You also now have your Steady Aim improved, and now it will not reduce your speed to 0. Your sneak attack is upgraded once more, now to 5d6 extra damage. Level 10 rogues earn another ability score improvement to cap off dex. Level 11 rogues gain improved critical strike. You can now add 2 different critical strikes with your sneak attack, but must still pay the cost for each effect. Your sneak attack is now upgraded to 6d6 extra damage. Level 12 rogues earn our final ability score improvement. Place this into intelligence to wipe out that negative. You are now character level 17, your proficiency bonus is now maxed out at +6, and Mind Sliver and Poison Spray now deal 4 damage dice each. Level 13 Assassin rogues now have Envenom weapons. Now when you use your Poison Cunning Strike, the sneak attack will do an extra 2d6 poison damage, and this will ignore resistance to poison damage. Your sneak attack is now upgraded again to 7d6 extra damage. Level 14 rogues receive Devious Strike. You now have more cunning strikes added, but these ones cost a little bit more. For these strikes, Daze costs 2d6 and forces a con save. If it fails, it can now only do one thing next turn. These options are action, bonus action, or move. Obscure costs 3d6 and forces a dex save, blinding them until the end of their next turn. A blinded creature have all their attacks at disadvantage, all attacks against them are at advantage, and they automatically fail any skill check that relies on sight. Knockout costs 6d6 and forces a con save. They fall unconscious for 1 minute or until it takes damage. It can retake the save at the end of each of its turns. An unconscious creature has its speed reduced to 0, is prone, fails strength and dex saves, can't take actions, bonus actions, or reactions, can't speak, and attack rolls against them are at advantage. Our final level is level 15 Rogue, and you get Slippery Mind. You are now proficient in Wisdom and Charisma saves. Finally, your sneak attack is now maxed out at 8d6 extra damage. Now that we've hit level 20, let's recap. Your stats are Strength 10, Dex 20, Con 13, Intelligence 10, Wisdom 12, Charisma 20. Your total levels are Warlock 5, Rogue 15. Let's dive in. You are a true master of infiltration. You can assume any form you wish, can speak several languages normally, can speak and read any language magically. Your deception and performance checks are plus 17 and can never be lower than 27 after you roll. You can mimic people's body language and writing. Your stealth is great. You can climb any location. And your mind is guarded from magic with 3 different saving throws. In combat, you're also extremely dangerous. Using a short sword, you're dealing 1d6 plus 5 necrotic damage, can add another 1d6 necrotic damage, can deal plus 6 to the damage, and finally, we can get 8d6 sneak attack damage added on that. You can also add effects like poison, knock them down, and give yourself advantage on the attack. Good chance you'll be going first because your initiative is plus 11, it's at advantage, and if you are actually liked by your team, you can switch with an ally in initiative order. Downside. Firstly, you have limited resources with only 2 spell slots and 1 off on ability that can get them back. You can use your spells for damage and infiltrate. You can use your spells for damage or infiltration, but thankfully you have cantrips. You also have a lack of range with your best range ability only 60 feet, which is pretty accurate to the source material. You can of course fix this by taking Eldritch Blast for your missing cantrip. The biggest problem is you're only bringing about 120 HP taking the average, but you can get out of fights quickly, and with stealth you can get the drop on people and deal massive damage. You are the God Emperor's blade against those who dare question him, so infiltrate, deceive, and deliver his judgment. I'd like to give a special shout out to my Artificer tier. Thank you John Martin, Christopher R. Hunter, Java Squirrel, Matthew Dens, Burton, and Jonathan Haynes. You guys rock. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss a single new build each week on YouTube and Spotify. And make sure to check out my Patreon where you can help decide next week's new character.